Good day everyone, welcome to another video. Hope you're all doing well. So in today's video we have some good news and some good news. It's only good news. So we have fixed the Patrol, about time. We have actually fixed it and we've actually got four-wheel drive working in the transfer, the diffs, everything. So here she is. So you'll notice there's a light bar on the bull bar now. We'll be installing that later in the video. So I've already filmed that segment. If we come to the interior, look at that. We have a transfer shifter. Now, you're probably wondering, you can ask yourself, you can ask me, what have you done to fix it? Have you changed the transfer case? Have you fixed the transfer? So what I've done is my beloved girlfriend brought me a MIG welder. So I actually tacked the shifter onto the shaft because it was rotating on that shaft, and that's fixed the problem. Another thing I did do was take this thing off. Now I had a subscriber email me. I forgot your name, I'm so sorry, but helped me out so much. Now this thing obviously helps the shifter stay in the orientation it needs to be in, and then obviously you have a little notch here. That's when you dip down into neutral and back into four low. So up the top here, mine was when mine was bottoming out, that was still in four-wheel drive. It wasn't going back into two-wheel drive. So I removed this completely, and you can see the shifter sits much more forward now. But what I did was I got the car into two-wheel drive, sat the shifter exactly where two-wheel drive was, put the cotter pin in, and just tack weld it very slightly onto that shaft, and it's perfect. It's working now. Now this transfer case is not great. I took it for a spin around the block, and when you get up in the RPM and start rolling, there's a bit of a crunchy noise coming from the transfer. So I don't know if it's going to last that long, but it should be enough for hopefully one trip. So, well, the good thing is now we have working four-wheel drive, and we are going out tomorrow for its first run out in the bush with a buddy of mine with the Barra GQ. He's just finished, so we're both going to be testing our new four-wheel drives together. What I'm going to be doing in this video is obviously installing that light bar that we have, and that was a sponsored product. And I'm going to be putting the mud wheels back on it. You've seen me do that a million times. Prepping it for tomorrow. Sealing the airbox. I've got to seal that airbox lid, and then I've got to fill the transfer case up with fluid, because just in case it's low on fluid. I haven't checked, but I brought some transfer oil or gearbox oil. And yeah, we're just gonna go over everything and get it ready for its first rip. So while I got you here, guys, I'll get in the car and I'll show you all the gears and show it all working. All right, so I'm in my street now, just chilling, and now I'll show you the transfer working. So right now we're in two-wheel drive, no light on the dash, so I put my foot on the clutch, we'll go back one. That's four-wheel drive, so you can see the transfer lights on the dash. So we're in four-wheel drive, so we'll go in first. That's four high, yes, four high. Now one back. So now because I haven't got that selector in, I don't have to push it down to go into neutral. So if I put it in first, let the clutch out, we're not going anywhere. So that's neutral. And then if we go back one, all the way back there, that's four low. Put it in first gear. Beautiful, we're moving. All right, so that's all gears working. So back into neutral. The transfer light goes off. Four high, transfer light back on, and then all the way forward is two-wheel drive again, so we're back in two-wheel drive. So yeah, there you go, it all works. Woohoo! Alright guys, so I'm going to take a second now to thank the sponsor of today's video as well. Yes, we have another sponsor. So last episode we had the sponsor for the LED headlights, and today we have another sponsor for a light bar, and their company's called Auxbeam, or Auxbeam, however you want to say it, and they've sent me out this 20-inch light bar. So thank you very much, guys. We're going to whack that on the car today, and I'm going to put that just on top of the bull bar. Spotlights, top rail of the bull bar, on the top of the bull bar. And then I'm definitely going to get a roof rack with a light bar on the top. I don't want too many lights on the front, but I'll put one here. It'll be pretty chic. So 20-inch should be fine there. But yeah, so I'll pull this out. I've already opened it just to check packaging and everything, but I'll pull this out and I'll give you a better look at it. All right, so in the box we have the 20-inch light bar. Now this one has little LED strips in the middle, so I think they have the daylight running or daytime running light options, the DRLs. My spotlights over here actually have the same thing. There's actually, if you look at them, there's a strip that runs through the middle. That's actually a DRL, but I haven't got that wired in because I'm not really a fan of it. You'll see on the wire output here, there's 3 wires. I think one's for the DRL, one's ground, one's power. We also get some spare connections, cable ties, all the mounting brackets for it, and this is the wiring kit. Comes with the switch and everything, and the relay. Now I'm probably not going to use the wiring kit because this car, before I owned it, already had light bars and everything on it, so all the wiring's there. I just got to wire it to the old plug on the car, so that'll be pretty easy. And then we're just gonna figure out how we're gonna mount it. So I've got the brackets that probably have to drill into the bull bar. That's all right. But I'm not gonna use the DRLs. We're just gonna have the light bar working, and at least with the wiring on this car at the moment, the fog lights and that will cancel out with the high beam, so it's all legal. And yeah, that should look good up there somewhere. I think it's illegal to have light bars on top of the bull bar, but you know, what isn't illegal these days? We'll figure out where the mounts go on and see where we're going to mount it on the bar. Also, I forgot to say, it comes with instructions as well. It tells you how to mount it with either the bracket or little leg stands. I'm going to be using the bracket or the studs that go underneath, and they'll screw straight into the bull bar. I've got the little legs on the back bolted up. They're fully adjustable. They slide, they go up and down. That, so figured out a spot where I want them. So we'll sit that on there, and that'll probably go right there, I reckon. And then that'll drill in. They'll sit nice and flush. So we'll get the drill out, drill some holes, get it perfect so it screws in, and mount it up. One thing I've got to really try and learn, guys, is to record what I do, because a lot of the times I get so stuck into a job I forget to turn the camera on. But all I did, I'll show you what I did. So I got it mounted on the top of the bull bar. All I did was literally just drill. So they give you these, like I think they're an M8 bolt. But what I did was I went to an M6, which was like one of these, M6, and I just drilled hole there, and just tapped a M6 by 1 thread, and it's bolted down now. It's just I got it on the adjusters there at the back, so you can roll it forward, so you can roll it down about there, and I just got to tighten a little Allen bolt to the back here, and then bang, and then I'll wire it in. So this is the actual wiring from the car originally, so I just got to snip the plug off and connect it with another plug. I'll probably just do spade connectors on that. So you can see the spotlights are connected to that same wiring as well, so it cancels out with the high beams in that. So there's a switch in there, you turn the switch on, and then when you put your high beams on, they come on with the high beams and they cancel out with the high beam stalk. But then you have a switch to turn it off if you just want normal high beams. So I'll just wire it back into that. But it's good that it comes as a whole kit anyway. So what I'll do now is I'll start getting some wiring done, and I'll show you that. And then yeah, and then get it powered up and working for all the night runs we do. All right, so I've just dummied the wiring there just to make, first of all, we'll test it, make sure it works. The accessories, I'll turn the switch on. All right, turn the lights on, high beams on. Let's see if it comes on. All right, cool, we got it. Both spotlights and the light bar. Awesome. So we'll turn that off, and then we'll connect it up for good now. All right, so I'll show you what we're up to. We have the other wires fused into the old loom for the car. So they're the males, and then we got the 2 females crimped onto the end there, and then some heat shrink around the bottom. I've got the other wire just taped off to the side. I mean, I know this wire is not live, but I like to tape them off just in case. And then we can just fold him back, tape him up against there, plug them in, cable tie him in here nice and smooth. Sorry, not smooth, nice and neatly. I still got to rotate this light bar to get it correct, and then we're good to go. Cool, that's all mounted now and plugged in. So I sort of ran the plug in the grill, or sorry, the wire in the grill there, so it's nice and hidden from the outside. Now we'll just test it, it's all plugged in, and then we should be good to go. Good to rock and roll. Hopefully it all still works. Beautiful. They all work. Let there be light. Well, another little accent added onto the car to give us some more lighting at night, and I do like the look of light bars now. I can't wait to have one on the roof as well. When I get the roof rack, I really need a roof rack. If everyone's got a roof rack for sale, let me know. I want like a basket rack. That'd be a roof basket, yeah. That'd be probably the way to go on this car. It really needs one, doesn't it? First, I'd like to give a massive thank you to Auxbeam for sending me the light bar. It's going to help me out a lot, and I'll put all the affiliated links in the description of the video, so where you can get the light bar and also a link to their website, and help support people to support the channel. All right, so now that you've seen that, I'm going to get the jack out. I'm going to put the 36s back on, pump them all up, make sure they're up to the right pressure, and I'm going to pop this airbox lid off. And I've got some it's over here, I've got this clear like adhesive silicone that will it's Permatex, so it's good shit. And I'll just run a little bit of that just around the airbox lid just to seal it up. What I'll do is I'll pop the lid off, I'll blow that filter out, because there's a big cone filter in there. Yeah, and then we'll seal that lid back on and get some bolts for the missing missing holes. So we'll do that now. Keep it all nice and safe. I don't think there's much water out there at the moment because it's been so hot. It has been raining though, so I don't want to flood it. So we'll just better be safe than sorry. Now, if you've ever wondered what's in this big ass airbox, that's pretty much it. Just a big ass filter. So you see there's some leaves and shit. Now I'm gonna give that a good blowout before I close it back up again. And you can see that's where the snorkel comes through, and then bang. Clean this up nicely, and then I've got to put only put a little bit of silicone just to make sure it's watertight, and that way we can still, if we need to remove the lid later on, it's easier. And that's why I got the clear stuff too, just make it a bit easier, a little less messy. So I'll run just a little bead around there and press it down and bolt it up. So I'll blow that out now, sit that airbox lid on, and we'll seal it up. All right, guys. Well, my camera died before when I was filming the airbox, but you can see a bit of silicone peeling out there it's already hardened. Actually, it's that warm outside, it's already hardened. So I'll just cut that off with some scissors. I'll just pull it off. Oh, there we are. Look at that. But yeah, we've bolted the airbox lid down properly with all the bolts. It's fucking hot outside now, so I'm gonna put the bug wheels on now, and I think that's it. And we're ready to go. I'll go do the transfer fluid and check all fluids, and then bang bang, ready to go. So I'll put the wheels on now, and then come back and button everything up. There we are. God, it weighs as much as the sun. Fucking hell. Well, there's 2 done. 2 more to go. I'm dripping of sweat. What do you reckon? Look much better? Yeah, it does. So we got the big doors back on. And I reckon it looks sick with the light bar. It looks more like a 4-wheel drive. Just need a roof rack and a light bar at the top, and that'll ruin our fuel economy for sure. But she's all ready to go for tomorrow. So I'm going to put this video out, and then the video straight after this is going to be the actual 4-wheel drive session we do. It's good to have a center console together with the transfer shifter in there, even though it's all the way forward. But it works. She's looking very pretty. Very pretty. Camera doesn't do justice how fucking big this thing is, but a lot of you guys that have lifted GUs will know the size of them. They're fucking huge. That's why I call it Chungus. How exciting. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching always, and I really hope you're excited to see me take this out, and I hope you're excited to see it out in the bush. And yeah, I'm over the moon to actually have it up to this stage that we're actually gonna take it out. I never thought I'd see the day. It goes to show, you take time, don't rush things, and don't break your arms. Things will come into fruition if you take your time and put effort in. So, oh fuck, I'm so excited. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave it here for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully big old Chungus makes it out alive. Take care everyone, and see you next time. Bye bye.